Okay, next up we're looking at Eurocad here. This massive downside movement, the entire month basically. It's been just straight down from roughly 147.5 all the way down to roughly 142.50. You can see it is hitting this previous zone of resistance though, but it has crossed over this daily moving average, so technically it is bearish now. I am looking for a pullback, so we did have a massive bearish candle yesterday. Today's been a pullback candle. You can see it is selling back off though. Over the next 4.5, 5 hours, we'll see how this closes. But if you go to the weekly here, oh, my internet's not very good today. See if this loads. Probably not. No. There we go. We got it. You can see on the weekly, it's a little bit more significant. So, and it did touch down and is now being bought up on this this weekly time frame. So we'll see if it breaks this level. But if it holds it this week, we get some. Obviously, we need some adequate bull structure to come into play because, like I said, this is super bearish. In yesterday's candle, massive bear candle. So not in a hurry to buy this yet, but it does look like it's there's a potential. You got 3 bull candles here, 3 white soldiers, I think it's called, is that formation. But now obviously you got this bearish engulfing candle on the 4 hour, so it is kind of figuring out what it wants to do now. So there's no clear signs yet. It might take a couple days too. But you can see we did have this nice little bull section here. It didn't create any new highs or anything. It's still way below this 1 hour moving average. It's below the 30-minute. It's even below the 15-minute. So there's definitely nothing here yet. The only thing we have to consider, the reason that I'm considering a potential, pullback up retracement trade, is because it is at this significant zone that's been respected before. It's moved 494 pips this month. It usually moves about 472, so it is overextended, not a ton, but it is overextended a bit. So we'll just have to see how today closes, and obviously it might take the rest of the week, so this might be a next month play. But if it starts really respecting this zone and starts creating higher highs, higher lows, I'd be looking for a pullback up. And a retracement of this section here can fib it right from the top here. Make sure this is selected. There we go. Fib it right from the top here. Figure out our zones here. Between the 50%, the 618. You can see there's actually a lot of liquidity right in here. So it might be where price is heading. We can use this other tool that I like to use, and it's called fixed range profile volume, and we'll just figure out this little area, this section of price here, where it might head to. So the real imbalance is like right here, which I think is about 50%. So it might not retrace as high as we expect. So yeah, I mean right here, this 50% zone, which makes sense because there is an abundance of candles. Oops. There's an abundance of candles right here. So you drag that across, you can see resistance became support. So like this is right here, right at this 50% zone. So it might not retrace this high. Going off this. And also this moving average, right? So by the time price comes back up here and retests the zone, let's say it does, this moving average will probably be pretty close, and it'll decide if it wants to respect it or not, and it will kind of protect price to the upside, or protect it from going above. So it might not make it much higher than this 50% zone. So something to keep in mind, but I mean still a good retrace nonetheless. So we'd be looking at something like this, and I mean as long as we wait for adequate bull structure to set up. Oops, at this zone here, we'll leave this. Yeah, this is perfect. If we wait for adequate bull structure to set up, meaning higher highs, higher lows, moving averages to cross over, all that kind of thing, key levels being broken. So like as of right now, I can see that right here is a level. You can see price. It's only the 4 hour time frame, but like rejected, but you can call that a rejection. It's pretty close. Super rejected, finally broke, came back up, rejected, bearish engulfing. So like this is a key zone that needs to be broken. So yeah, let that be broken. Let price cross over this moving average. Let it create, you know, higher highs, higher lows. Let it retest this structure here, you know, and then you're looking at something like this. You know, it might take, unless it comes back down and retest this area, which I don't know. Maybe it will. I mean, it's still below this zone. It might be coming back down to this zone, but if you waited for price to break and retest this area here, you can kind of see where all the wicks come down. Let's say they all come down to this zone. They come in and then get bought up. Wherever those wicks are, let's say they're right here, and you want to place your stop a little bit below just in case there's liquidity grab. You know, there's your trade. And this is only about 190 pips from here to here. So and the month is like close to 500 pips. So like this might only take the first couple weeks of the month, really. So there could be something like this. I think, I mean, on average, it moves about 190, 200 pips a week. So I mean, this could be a 1 week kind of play, something like that. Right up to that zone, get that retest or that rejection of this area, that full, you know, that nice pullback, and then we're looking for the next segment of price to present itself. Would be something like this. You got your 127 zone down here. You know, this would be like your next area, 140.86, 140.80 kind of thing. If we look on the weekly time frame, we'll see if it lines with anything. I don't really see anything here, so maybe it just keeps going. I mean, there's not really a lot in between here and here as of previous price history, so I mean, doesn't mean it's going to reflect that again, but yeah, obviously this is a key price we got to break in order to go lower and even start looking at those lows, but I don't see this really lining up with too much, so we'll delete that for now. And then this is kind of just our next thing that we're looking at. We're looking for a break, retest of this zone, enter the pullback trade to this zone, retest this, you know, ideally the daily moving average. The 4 hour will probably be below it, but who knows, it might function as resistance too. It might not even make it this high. But that is our first possible trade setup. Or, you know, what could happen is price just keeps breaking lower. It hasn't found its low yet. That's why we have to wait for a bear structure to play out and for price to break and hold above this level. So if it doesn't do that, like as of right now, today on today's candle, I mean, if it closed like this, it's rejected that area, and then we're still looking for it to go lower. No potential trades yet if it goes lower, but because I don't really see any zones here. Like, I mean, this is the yeah, this was the monthly range, but this is actually quite a bit over. Oh no, this is the next zone. So yeah, it's over the monthly range. So there is not really much. Like, once it breaks this area, we don't really know where it's headed. So you could take a potential sell trade after it breaks this level, but I just don't know where we would target. I mean, there's this little area here, but it's quite a ways away, so I'd be just mostly focused on this retest. If we get it, if we get the bull structure to set up, price to break this zone, retest, break above this moving average, boom, we target 145.20, and then look for the sell off of this area versus the sell off this area, because this zone is significant. So, and it's already moved a lot, so it might be burnt out. But so that's what we're waiting for on Eurcad here to set up. Might take a couple days, might take the rest of the week, and this might be a next month kind of setup. It can go like this, might be something like that for next month. And, you know, and again, this is only 190 pips, which is the average range for the week. So it could do this, you know, next week. It could do this in the first week of October here. So that is what we're waiting for on Eurocad. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.